I still get the creeps when telling this story. About 4 years ago, at the end of July, my family and I went on vacation to a spot in Virginia. We've been going to the same spot for 5 years straight. It was the middle of the night when I woke up to this light tapping at the window. Across from the bed, me and my brother were sharing. The room was decently big, with the bed pushed against the wall in the center of the room, and 2 smaller closets to the left on either end of the wall. A window was next to the closet in the far left corner of the room from the bed, with a TV beside it. Before I went to bed that night, I had turned on light rain sounds on the TV, and so it was playing queasily in the background while I sat up in bed, tired and weary. The knocking turned into loud thumps that made my heart race and my palms sweaty. By the sound of it, I could have sworn someone or something was standing outside the window, pounding on the window, which wasn't unreasonable considering the room was on the first floor, near the entrance of the building. Looking at the alarm clock on my bedside nightstand, I realized it was very unreasonable. It was 3:15, which of course it was. Why wouldn't I wake up at the witching hour with tapping on the window and this utter dread filling my stomach? I don't understand how I missed it, because she was standing right next to it. Beside the window, or rather a little in front of it, was a girl with long, dripping wet, black hair cascading down her face and body, basically hiding all of her from how long it was. She was wearing this worn-out white dress that ended on the floor. I couldn't see any limbs at all. She reminded me of that girl from The Ring, just less TV-like and real. For a good 10 seconds, I kind of just stared at her, waiting and watching, praying that this was some sick nightmare that I was about to wake up from. The panic hadn't yet set in either. When I realized she wasn't moving or doing anything, I slid under the covers, biting back the tears of fear. I was 14 then, not young but not old either, so the fear was pretty reasonable. After taking a few deep breaths and encouraging myself to look again, she was gone. She just vanished. The tapping on the window hadn't ceased. If anything, it got a bit louder. It also started raining after a few minutes of me just sitting there, staring at the spot where the girl once stood. I woke my bear of a brother up, almost crying from how scared I was. I told him what I saw, shaking shitless as I did so. He kind of just nodded, pretty much still asleep. He isn't much younger than me, being 12 at the time, but he was pretty useless as I complained about the tapping on the window. He told me to wake Mom and whine to her. I told him I wouldn't. So annoyed, he begged me to just turn up the TV and go back to sleep. I did, and to this day the memory of that girl, standing by that window, is burned into my mind. And to think I will be in that room again this year reminds me of the fear I had that night.